6월의 마지막 금요일에 돌아온 우리의 작은 팟캐스트 하프앤하프의 정태용입니다. 반갑습니다.
Hi, I'm Jeep, and welcome to Half and Half.
네, 이번 시간에는 지난 시간에 약속했던
음.
포탈 무엇이든 물어보세요 시간을
예.
가질 건데요. 네, 이 팟캐스트 하면서 당연히 이 에피소드를 하게 될 거라 생각을 했는데 솔직히 이렇게 빨리 할 줄은 몰랐어요. 저는. 네.
Yeah.
그리고 예.
Oh, I'm really excited about this topic because I know everything about it. This one's very easy for me. So yeah.
오.
And I like talking about Portal, so that'll be nice. I'm even wearing my Portal shirt. Check that out.
오, 그래요?
Yeah.
맞네. 그 포탈 건은 없나요?
Oh yeah. Right. Yes. The Portal gun. It's back here. Should I grab it? I didn't think of that. Yeah, there we go.
와.
Yeah, I have a Portal gun. That's right. The
Whoa.
batteries are not working right now though. But yeah, there you go.
아. 안에 배터리도 들어가요?
Yeah, there's some big batteries that go in the bottom here, but and it like turns blue and orange and makes sound like choo, choo, choo. So yeah,
와.
it's fun. There you go. Anyway. All right.
멋있다. 네. 네, 좋습니다. 그리고 사실
Yeah.
우리가 팟캐스트 시작한 지가 얼마 안 됐잖아요.
Yeah.
그래서 질문이 그렇게 많이 올까 좀 걱정을 했거든요.
I feel like I'm not so worried. I feel like we can answer all these questions. We got a lot of questions, and they were pretty interesting
네.
too.
네. 한 40개 정도가 있더라고요, 질문이.
Yeah. There's like about 20. What did you say, Sashib? I'm so bad with numbers. That's 40, Sashib. 40, right?
네네.
마흔.
사람은 네, 그
예.
질문 남겨주신 분들은 한 20분 정도 됐고,
Yeah.
네, 근데 한 분이 여러 질문을 한 경우도 있어서,
Yeah. Some people left multiple questions.
네. 그래서 한 40개 정도가 되더라고요.
Right. Yeah. So I'll say this. So first of all, thank you so much for sending questions. Like, I want to answer all the questions, and the way I'm thinking about it is, we're gonna talk about Portal, and I'm gonna talk about things related to Portal that will answer your questions. We might not like say your question directly, like read it out directly as you wrote it. But I hope that all the questions that were asked are going to be answered. And I took notes to make sure that we'll cover all the topics that were asked. Hopefully that sounds good. That was my decision, but hopefully that will be good for you guys. So yeah, enjoy.
네, 좋습니다. 네, 지프 말처럼 저는 그냥 질문들을 다 모아서 제가 대신 읽어드리고 지프의 대답을 듣고 그렇게 얘기를 할까 싶었는데 지프의 아이디어는 우리가 원래 이렇게 편하게 이야기하는 팟캐스트니까 이거 질문들을 보고 지프가 이런 주제들에 대해서 편하게 이야기하면 자연스럽게 모든 질문들에 답이 되도록 네, 하는 게 좋을 것 같다고 아이디어를 내줬습니다. 그래서 그렇게 한번 해보겠습니다.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So the first thing I guess I can talk about is almost everybody who asked a question. They're very polite, which is great. But they also said, I really like the game, and thank you so much. Like, it's really great to hear from fans who enjoy the game. That's why I make games. Is I like to hear people say, "Hey, the game was cool." Like that to me is the best compliment.
네.
Somebody did ask though. They said, I bought Portal on sale, and then when I finished the game, I felt bad because I only paid half price for the game. And I loved it so much, I wanted to give all the money for the game, right?
네,
Yeah.
그거 사실 질문도 아니잖아요.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I guess it wasn't a question, but I do have a response to it, actually.
네. 아니, 그래서
Yeah.
저는 그 메시지가 너무 훈훈해서
Yeah.
질문은 아니지만 저는 제가 아까 얘기했던 질문을 제가 읽어드리는 포맷으로 할 거였으면 마지막에 그걸 소개해 주려고 했거든요. 그 댓글을.
Right, right, right.
네. 근데 참, 네, 너무 기분이 좋을 것 같아요. 그런 댓글 보면.
Okay.
네. 그래서
So I've had that feeling before where I buy a game on sale or I get it for free for some reason. And I'm like, I love this game so much. I want to give the developer some money because I love the game. So what I do is I will, if that happens for me, I buy the game as a gift for a friend. I find somebody who I think will like the game and I buy it for them. So that way I still bought a copy of the game. And when I give it to that person, my friend, I tell them, I'm giving this game to you. If you like it, buy it for somebody else. Buy it as a gift for somebody else. So, keep buying more, and then tell the person you bought it for, buy it for somebody else. That's the best solution, I think. So if you liked Portal, buy it for a friend. That's my recommendation.
와, 진짜 아름다운 세상이네.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah. I had an experience recently at a cafe. I bought a sandwich at a cafe.
네.
And when I went to the register, they said, it's already paid for. Somebody bought it.
Eh?
The person ahead of you bought it for you. And I was like, oh, really? And so I was like, okay, I'll buy the sandwich for the person behind me. So yeah.
아니, 그게 무슨 말이에요? 그냥 모르는 사람이요?
Yeah. The person I didn't know, just being nice, bought it for me. So I bought the person's behind me. I bought their food. So same idea with games. You can do it with food. You can do it with games.
어.
Yeah.
아니, 그게 캐나다에 있는 문화예요?
Definitely Western culture. I've seen it sometimes in USA, and this maybe it was the first time I'd had that happen in Canada, but I think it's more common at coffee shops. Yeah.
다음에 한번 그거에 대해서 얘기해 보죠.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk about that.
좋을 것 같아요. 진짜 흥미롭네.
Cool.
네.
Okay.
좋습니다.
So next question. I'm afraid to say this one next because this is the question that most people asked, or a lot of people asked.
세 명 있었어요. 세 명.
Yeah, that's right. That's the question. Three people only. Only three people asked it. Okay, so
네.
I moved to Canada 4 years ago, and I do talk to some of my friends who still work at Valve, and but we don't talk about work. So anything that Valve is developing right now, I literally do not know. Like, I just don't have any information. The reason I'm afraid to say that now is because, well, now everybody can, turn off this episode. They don't have to listen anymore. But I promise you, if you keep listening, there will be some interesting content. So keep listening.
네. 참고로 제가 생각했던 포맷에서는 엄청 뒤쪽에 있었어요. 아무튼 모릅니다. 물어보셔도.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so then some more specific questions, I guess.
네.
Somebody asked what my favorite Portal meme is.
근데 밈이 있었어요?
Yeah, there's a lot of memes. There's plenty.
저는 게임을 엄청 재밌게 하긴 했는데 그런 막 커뮤니티에 밈을 찾아보는 거는 원래 하질 않아서 잘
There is, yeah.
전혀 몰랐는데 밈이 있더라고요.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, so I'm not going to count. So in Portal, there's funny moments like the cake is a lie is kind of its own meme, but that's something that's in the game, right? So I'm not going to
네.
count that. I'm going to count memes that were created by the community, not by us.
네.
My favorite meme is a lot of people have this. They either make a comic or a video that says what would happen if you put a portal inside a portal. And so they'll have like a portal and they'll have another portal and they go like this and put it in and then everything explodes or whatever. That's my favorite meme. I love those videos and comics of what would happen if you put a portal inside a portal.
그렇구나. 게임에서는 안 되던데.
Yeah, it doesn't happen in the game.
그렇죠.
So yeah, I think those are hilarious. I'll send you an image later of one of my favorite ones. You can maybe show that in the episode. So yeah.
네네네.
Yeah,
좋습니다.
So it's appearing right here. That's my favorite. Okay.
네.
Okay, so let's see. A few people asked what makes Portal successful. They were saying, yeah.
네, 이것도 3명 있었어요.
Yeah. And they sort of asked, is it the story? Is it the puzzle gameplay? Is it the characters? Is it, what is it? My personal feeling, yeah, go ahead. What do you think? Well, you can answer first.
왜냐면 저도 그 생각을 했었는데
Mhm.
근데 제가 느낀 거랑 진짜 비슷하게 질문을 남겨주신 분이 있었거든요. 그게 뭐냐면 제가 지금 바로 찾아볼게요. 잠시만요.
Sure, go ahead.
승일님께서 남겨주신 댓글인데 저에게 포탈은 매우 단순하고 직관적인 게임 요소들을 조합해 놀랍도록 복잡하고 다양한 상황을 플레이어에게 제시하는 탁월한 게임이었습니다. 그러니까 예를 들어 하프라이프 같은 경우는 그 빠루에다가 그 뭐 중력건에다가 샷건에 크로스보우에 뭐 다 있잖아요.
Right.
그리고 그거 말고도 많은 게임들이 할 수 있는 게 되게 다양하잖아요.
Right, right.
근데 포탈은 포탈건 하나잖아요. 진짜 주황 포탈, 파란 포탈 그거들로 별의 별 플레이를 다 할 수 있잖아요.
Right, right. There's just that one thing you can do. Yeah.
네, 근데 와 저는 그 단순한 걸로 그렇게 복잡한 상황을 만드는 걸 보고 저는 어떻게 느꼈냐면 와 이 게임 진짜 우아하다. 와 진짜 엘레강스하다 이렇게 느꼈어요.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so first, even though you only have the portal gun, you can use portals to do several different types of things. You can use it to, get a place faster, or you can use it to look at an area that you wouldn't normally be able to see, or you can carry things through. You can use the momentum to, fall and then fly out. So there's different abilities that you can do using the portal, and throughout the game, you learn what are the different things that you can do. And so even though you only have the portal gun, you can use it in many different ways, different types of ways. So that's an important thing. But honestly, what I think the most important thing is the reason why people like the game is two things. Okay, I guess there's two things. One is pacing. Pacing means that you have an easy moment and then a difficult moment, and then a little bit of story, and then something funny, and then something scary, and then easy, and then hard, and then easy, and then story, and then so you're not just puzzle, or hard. You have a variety of being able to relax and then focus, and then a little bit of stress, and then a little bit of comedy, right? So, yeah. Balancing those things. Pacing it up. Yeah, we call it pacing. Yeah.
페이스 조절이 아주 잘 돼 있다.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important things because in development, when we were working on the game, before we had story in the game, it was just puzzles. And people got tired of just puzzles. They got very tired of it. Or if there was a very difficult puzzle, and then immediately another very difficult puzzle, they found it very frustrating. But if we had a hard puzzle, and then an easy puzzle, and then a hard puzzle, the same puzzle that was before, just the pacing change, made it much more fun. We could definitely see a difference just by changing the order of the pacing. And if something was too difficult, then we would add a little bit more story to, we call it break up the pace. Like there's too much happening, so separate it just a little bit, right?
네.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the most important things.
쉬운 거에서 어려운 걸로 하게 하고 또 중간에 한번 끊어서 쉴 틈을 주고.
Yeah.
근데 지프 얘기를 듣고 보니까 진짜 그 페이싱이 굉장히 잘 짜여진 것 같아요. 특히 2에서 그걸 많이 느꼈는데
Yeah.
처음에는 그냥 포탈건으로만 하는데 그 몇 레벨 동안 포탈건으로만 하는데 쉬운 퍼즐에서 어려운 퍼즐로 가다가
Yeah.
그리고 한 페이지가 끝나면 그 새로운 트릭 같은 것들이 나오잖아요.
That's right. Yes.
네, 예를 들면 그 페인트,
Yeah. Yeah.
예, 페인트나 아니면 그 전에는 핑 하면 그 날아가는 거.
Yeah. The aerial faithplate. It's called.
아 그래요?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
단어가 어렵네요.
Yeah.
네, 그 핑 하면 핑 점프해서 날아가는 거 그거 그러니까 딱 처음 그 핑 하는 점프대가 나오면
Mm-hmm.
그 처음 나오는 문제는 또 쉽고
Yeah.
네, 근데 또 그거를 이용하는 문제들이 갈수록 더 어려워지다가
That's right. Yeah, it gets a
네.
little bit more difficult as it goes, but that's the second thing. Is when players play the game, they learn how to play the game by playing the game. So
네.
they see something new, they don't know what it is or what it does, but they're given a very very easy task or very easy puzzle to use that thing and learn how it works. And then the next level, they've already learned how to use it. They can do an easy puzzle that shows they understand how to use that object or that concept. And then the next level is a more difficult level. You use it again, but now more difficult. And then now teach you something new. Here's a new thing you haven't seen. So yeah,
네, 네,
it's
네.
pacing, but it's about letting the player discover and learn naturally by playing the game, and then feel smart. Like feel smart because
Oh.
they now know how to
네,
use
네.
that thing.
네, 네. 저 그 얘기도 하려고 했어요.
Cool. Good.
제가 되게 똑똑한 사람이 된 것 같아요.
Oh, I'm a genius.
예, 와, 내가 이걸 했다.
Right,
이렇게.
right. Yeah, and that's the main feeling that we wanted players to have when they play the game is to feel smart. That was really one of our main goals.
그랬구나. 와, 중요한 이야기 같습니다.
Cool. Okay, so I'm going to move on to a completely different topic. And again, I'm just looking through my list of things.
아, 네, 네.
So somebody asked about brain-computer interfaces.
네.
So while I was at Valve, we were talking about brain-computer interfaces more at like the concept level of like, how do we do this? What do we do with this? When Valve started working on VR, they asked me like, what type of game would you make with VR, right? Like, how would you make a game? And so I spent some time doing experimentation, trying ideas, and we came up with ideas that I thought were good. And some of those ended up in the lab, which was the VR game that we made at the same time
네.
as the VR headsets released. So similar to that with brain-computer interfaces, somebody asked, what kind of game would you make with a brain-computer interface, or what would you do with it? And so I thought about it a lot, and I thought just what is the most simple thing I could do? Like very, very, very simple. Like if I had a brain-computer interface, what do I want, right? And here was my most simple thing. I want to know what time it is, like without looking at a clock, or a watch, right? Just right now, what time is it? I just want to know what time is it. That's all I want to know. Just what time. So that's number one.
네. 네.
With my eyes closed, anytime I can just know what time it is. Number two, I want to be able to set an alarm. So at 7 o'clock at 3 o'clock, I have a meeting. So I just want to set an alarm for 3 o'clock. Not speaking, just thinking. Set an alarm. And then at 3 o'clock, I know, it's meeting time. I know, right?
아, 그렇죠.
Yeah.
네.
So I want to know that. And the third thing I want is I want to not know what time it is. So
어떻게 해요?
sometimes I want to not know. Like, I just don't want to know what time it is. I don't care. So I want to sometimes not know, right?
네.
That's the three things I want. Just as a very, very basic brain-computer interface. The most basic thing, right?
네.
So I talked to some of the people who knew, who are working on that technology and explain this is my thought. Can I develop this? Is this possible? And they're like, that's
네.
way too hard. I don't think so.
아, 그렇구나.
It's just like I can't think of anything easier. I don't know what to do with this. That was my thought.
오.
So that's the most encounter I had with brain computer interfaces. I don't know what to do with it if you can't do those three things. I don't know. Maybe somebody smarter than me will think of something, but I don't know. I can't think of anything.
아, 그렇네요.
What would you do with a brain computer interface? Just to put you on the spot. Yeah.
아니, 저는 한 번도 생각해 본 적이 없는데.
That's fine. Yeah.
아, 찌프 말은 단순히 게임만이 아니라 모든 걸로요.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking anything like turn on my TV or open this application or turn off the light. Turn on the air conditioner. You know. I don't know. I guess
예.
it's a difficult
아,
subject. I don't know.
저 사이버펑크를 너무 많이 해서 자동차 해킹하고 뭐 그런 거밖에 생각 안 나요.
Wow, you want to hack your car?
어.
Cool. Okay, let's keep going.
어,
Go ahead.
그러면
Yeah.
아니 브레인 컴퓨터 되면은
Mm-hmm.
챗GPT한테 브레인 컴퓨터로 물어볼 수도 있는 거 아니에요?
Yeah, I mean, you could ask questions to ChatGPT. When I was working at that time of this story, like large language model processing, AI, ChatGPT wasn't around. So, yeah, maybe
네.
there's something there. Yeah, you just ask questions to ChatGPT, and then it can lie to you, and then you can say the things that are wrong to everybody else. I don't know.
아, 좋습니다. 우리 다음번에 AI 얘기도 한번 해요.
Oh yeah, we should talk about AI. That'd be a great topic.
네,
Yeah.
네, 카트리나랑 같이 해도 재밌을 것 같고.
Oh yeah. She probably has a lot of interesting things to say about it. It's a good idea.
네.
Okay.
네.
Cool.
네, 좋습니다.
Okay, let's keep going. There's a lot of stuff here. So let's see. Somebody asked what was the atmosphere like while working on Portal? Like as we were developing, what was it like? I'll say that at first it was very intimidating because we were new out of college, new developers, and Valve was very, very experienced, and we really loved their games, and so we were kind of afraid of making mistakes or not being good enough. So that was
부담감이 심했구나.
yeah, 부담감. There was a pressure.
네.
We'd say there was a lot of pressure at first.
네.
But I would say maybe after the first 6 months, the game started feeling pretty fun, and we enjoyed working on it. But the game itself was actually starting to become pretty fun, and so we started feeling pretty confident that we're like, oh, we think we can make a good game, and like we're learning as we go. But the atmosphere became very, very positive and like very exciting.
네.
We didn't know if it would be a successful game, but we knew that it would be fun, at least. And so just from that, it was a very like really fun atmosphere. We joked a lot, and we just always had ideas. We'd say, "Oh, what about this? What about that? Let's try this. Let's do this." And we just try ideas, and it was very fun. Yeah, very good environment.
그 질문이랑 같이 있던 질문이 아마 그 밸브 회사의 분위기 그리고 그 수평적인 문화
Right.
그런 질문도 있었던 것 같은데 혹시 나중에 그 토픽이 나오나요?
Sure. Yeah. We can talk about that.
알겠습니다. 그러면
Or we can do it now if you want. So
그럴까요?
yeah. So the flat hierarchy, that's how we say it in English, flat hierarchy.
오.
Yeah, so the idea there is that everybody at Valve doesn't have a title. So there's not like, senior lead programmer or senior lead president engineer, whatever. It's everybody's
그러면
the same, right? Like I sometimes say that I'm a programmer, but I also do some design. I also did some audio. I also did some testing. I did a lot of different things in the game, not just programming. So yeah, the flat hierarchy, I really enjoyed it. It sort of means that every individual person has to think about, what am I working on, and is it valuable to work on this? Or is there something else I should do that's more important or more valuable or more helpful? And not just to yourself, but often the people near us, just around us.
네.
Every day, very frequently, we say, hey, what are you working on? Like, number one, I'm curious, but like, tell me what you're working on. Because if you say, I'm working on this, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool, or oh, that gives me an idea, or maybe I would say, instead of doing that, can you help me with this, or can you do this? And the same, I often every day would see people near me and say, hey, look at this. Here's what I'm working on. What do you think about this? I'm changing this. I'm doing this. Here's my idea. What do you think? And by doing that, we keep track of what we're working on. Is it good? Is it valuable? Will people like it? We get feedback like that very constantly, all the time. And so that was sort of how the flat hierarchy works.
와, 그런 문화가 가능하려면 일단 다른 사람한테 말을 거는 게 편해야 되겠네요.
Yeah. We talked very like naturally and 편하게. It's like, what's the word? Freely, I guess. Very freely and naturally with other people. Yeah.
그 또 그렇게 하려면 무시하는 분위기도 없어야 되고.
Yeah, that's right. You don't ignore other people. Yeah, nothing gets ignored.
만약에 야 그게 뭐야 막 이러거나 아니 그걸 몰라서 물어봐 이런 식으로 하면 절대 안 될 것 같거든요.
Right. Yeah, I agree. People would always see what was happening around them, and so you couldn't really hide what you were working on. You had to share it with other people and get feedback on it. And I don't know. I think it works. I think Valve hires people who are successful in that type of environment. So they specifically want people who are good at working in that way, in that style, to work at Valve. And so that's an important part too. You couldn't just take any business and use this style, because some people don't work well using that style.
그쵸.
Yeah.
아, 그러면 그런 문화에 준비된 사람을 뽑는 편이네요.
Yeah.
그냥 아무 사람이나 실력 좋으면 뽑아서 그 문화를 가르치는 게 아니라
That's right.
이미 열려 있는 사람을 뽑는다.
That's right.
아하.
Okay.
오, 네.
So somebody asked, what's a moment during development that I'll never forget?
네.
This is kind of an embarrassing moment, but I think it's funny. So there's a very famous music composer at Valve named Kelly Bailey.
네.
And when we were working on the game, Robin Walker said, you should go talk to Kelly and see if he can make music for your game. Go talk to Kelly. And I was like, oh, okay. We need music. That sounds great. So I emailed Kelly and I said, hi, we're working on this game called Portal. Can you come play it and, help us out with the music? What do you think about this? And he's like, sure, yeah, I'll help you out. No problem. That sounds great. And I was like, okay, cool.
네.
And then later, I looked at the email. I didn't send it to Kelly Bailey. I sent it to Kelly Thornton. Different person.
네.
And so then I was like, oh no, I emailed the wrong person. And so I emailed him and I said, oh, sorry, I emailed the wrong Kelly. I didn't realize who you were. My mistake.
네. 네.
But then I found out later that Kelly Thornton also makes music and also is a musician. And so I felt so embarrassed that I was like, oh, please make music for your game. And then when he was excited to do it, I was like, no, don't do it. So I always felt bad about that. I felt very embarrassed.
진짜 네. 그 다른 켈리 입장에서는 좀 아쉬웠겠네요.
Yeah.
어떻게
Yeah, I think
지프
we did end up working with him a little bit on some audio and stuff, and I worked
아,
with him
그래요?
later on a bunch of music. But yeah,
지프도 음악을 좀 만들지 않아요?
yeah, I make music too. That's right. I
네,
didn't
네.
I didn't make any music for Portal. I did do some sound effects and some audio work on Portal. But yeah, I make music. It's fun.
그렇죠. 재밌잖아요. 그리고 그 되게 자기가 하는 음악에 그 애착이 있잖아요.
Yeah.
그래서 그 저도 취미로 음악을 가끔 만들고.
Oh, really?
네, 그 우리 팟캐스트 엔딩도 제가 그냥 만든
Ah,
거거든요.
you made the podcast music?
네네.
Oh, that's great. Cool.
근데 그래서 되게 자기 그 음악에 좀 그 애착이 있는데 누가 그 음악 좀 만들어 달라고 하면 기분 진짜 좋을 것 같거든요.
Yeah. Exactly.
근데 나 미안, 네가 아니었어.
Yeah, it's so sad.
네, 참.
Okay. All right. So in a previous podcast, we talked about Metroidvania as a genre, so which is a Metroidvania where the player learns and their abilities come from learning.
네.
Somebody asked if I played Blueprints, which is a Metroidvania, and yes, of course, I played Blueprints. I got to the credits. I love the game. I want to play it more, but I haven't had time. But yeah, I'm definitely going to keep playing it after the credits because it's so cool. Yeah.
그 got to the credit이란 말이 끝까지 했다는 표현이에요?
Sort of. This game, there's more after the credits. There's a lot more because there's so many puzzles in the game, and like I said, it's a Metroidvania. So even after the credits, you learn new information that lets you solve more puzzles. You can keep playing after that. So yeah. Somebody also, this is a very short question. Somebody asked if I played Rain World. I have played it for about 10 minutes, but it was so hard that I couldn't continue. Maybe I should give it another try, but I haven't played Rain World very much. It seems like a cool game, but I just haven't played it that much.
네, 저도 그냥 달랑 레인월드 해보셨나요? 이렇게 해가지고 이게 뭐 재밌어서 해봤냐는 건지 아니면 뭐 좋은 게임이라 해봤냐고 하는 건지 몰라서 검색을 해봤는데 근데 진짜 야생에 있는 한 마리 동물이 돼서 살아남는 게임이더라고요.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know if they call it the snake cat or something, but yeah, it's really cool player character creature. Yeah, it's interesting.
네, 다음번에 한번 재도전 한다고 합니다.
Okay. Somebody asked my opinion on the Steam Deck's future or just the Steam Deck in general. I guess I don't have a lot to say about it. I think the Steam Deck is really cool, and I don't know what's in development, so not much I can say there. But I just thought I'd touch on
스팀
that.
덱이 게임기죠, 게임기.
Yeah, it's a portable PC basically that you can play games on. It has a controller built in, so you can play, and it's like very high quality and plays pretty much all the games on Steam. There's some limitations, of course, but it plays a lot of the games on Steam. Yeah, it's really cool.
아, 그렇구나. 근데 아직까지 스팀 게임 같은 것들은 딱 큰 화면에서 좋은,
Sure. Yeah.
좋은 영상으로 하는
I like having a desktop PC, and generally when I travel, I either watch movies or read. I don't usually play games when I travel, honestly. But for some people, it's like really, really useful to them to be able to not just play games when they travel, but even like play games in bed or on the couch or
그렇죠.
at a restaurant or whatever. So yeah.
네, 맞아요. 또 젊은 사람들,
Yeah, younger people too.
네, 저 젊고 어린 사람들은 또 어떨지 모르죠.
Keeps them busy.
네.
Okay. Somebody asked what my most influential game I played was. Like what game influenced me after I played it?
근데 그 질문이 그 가장 영향을 받은 게임인가? 그거였잖아요.
Yeah.
그래서 저는 헷갈리더라고요. 포탈 개발에 영향을 준 게임인지 아니면 지프에게 영향을 준 게임인지.
I wasn't sure,
아무튼
so I have an answer for both questions.
좋습니다.
Yeah. So for Portal, one of the most influential games was Ico, which I had played a
Ico.
few, or Ico, I think they pronounce it in Korea, Ico, for Sony PlayStation. I played that a few years before, or maybe even 1 year before we started working on Narbacular Drop. Narbacular Drop is the student game I made that changed
네.
into Portal eventually. And Eco is a puzzle game that, 3D puzzle game that has a lot of atmosphere, a little bit of story, but like you feel like you're in a place where all these puzzles are happening. And that was definitely like very influential in thinking about making that type of game. So that's number one. And then most influential for me in general is Quake. Quake is a older game, but I would say that was when that game came out and when I played it, that I had already learned a little bit of programming and I had already like personally done a little bit of game development, like just personal game development. But after playing that, I started making maps for Quake, making levels for Quake, and making mods for Quake, like making changes to the
모드구나,
game.
그게.
Yeah. So I would say that was very influential for me to learn more about game development and start really getting into like making things not just for me and my brothers, but making new levels for other people on the internet. We would make levels and then post them on the internet, and people could play our levels. So things like that. Yeah.
지프도 모드 만들다가 게임 개발자가 된 케이스네요.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, I made a lot of mods.
그게 어떤 게임이더라? 위쳐였나?
Oh, The Witcher?
네, 위쳐였나 다른 게임이었나? 어떤 게임이 그 2편인가 3편인가 아무튼 그 시리즈 이후에 나온 편을 만들 때 그 새 시리즈를 만들 때 그 이전 버전의 모드를 잘 만들던 사람들을 그대로 고용해서
That's right. Yeah, the people who worked on the Witcher games were originally modders. A lot of them were
맞죠,
modders.
맞죠.
Yeah, true.
맞죠. 모드.
I think it's a good way to get into game development. It definitely was many years ago, and I think it still is a good way to learn game development, get practice, and there's a lot of reasons why it's really good. So you can build a community. So, for example, if you're making mods for, I don't know what game, if you're making mods for
사이버펑크?
Cyberpunk, sure. If you're making Cyberpunk mods, then there's already thousands, maybe even millions of players who will see the thing that you're making. And so you can start to connect with the community and get a lot of feedback on what you're making and learn from the feedback. So yeah, it's a really good way to get into game development.
그렇게 치면 지프가 했다고 한 퀘이크는 맵까지 만들 수 있었잖아요.
Yeah, I made maps.
근데 사이버펑크는 맵은 못 만들거든요.
Yeah, I don't know.
그런 것도 좀 중요할 수도 있겠네요.
Yeah, I think it should be possible, but I think people for Cyberpunk, for example, might make a new weapon or new enemy, new vehicle,
네.
like just
네,
little
네.
parts of things. If they made a map, I don't know, it might be maybe like they could make, an arcade, or they could make a restaurant or some small area or something,
그런 건 될 거예요, 아마.
Yeah.
그럼 어떤 게임의 모드를 만드느냐도 영향이 있을 수 있다?
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
그렇구나. 저도 모드 진짜 만들어 보고 싶었는데
You should try, yeah.
근데 엄두가 안 나더라고요.
Yeah, it just takes practice. I don't know. Just like anything, it takes practice. Make something small first. Yeah. Okay,
자, 이제
so
네, 큰 카테고리, 퍼스널 카테고리에서 디벨롭먼트 카테고리로 넘어왔네요.
yeah. So there's a lot of questions about sort of during the development or development of Portal or development in general. Like, what was it like or what happened? And one person asked about the difference between single player and multiplayer levels or maps in the game. This is especially interesting to me because I worked on Portal 1 from the beginning, but just be clear on Portal 2, I only worked on the multiplayer co-op mode in Portal 2. I tested Portal 2, like the single player mode, a little bit while it was during development. But during that time, I was working on other games. I was working on Left 4 Dead and Team Fortress and things like that. So I only worked on the co-op. So I can talk about the difference between single player and multiplayer maps, though. So this is a great question.
그랬구나.
For me.
아.
So one of the main things about Portal puzzles that I don't think people notice, but is very important, is what we call line of sight. Line of sight.
Line of sight.
Yeah, in Korean, I would call this probably like 시선.
네네, 시선.
Yes. Where can you see? What is possible to see? In portal levels, because you can shoot the portal any distance, anywhere that you can see, where there's a wall, right? Or a valid wall.
시야가 좀 더
Yeah, you could use that word.
잘 맞을 것 같기도 하고요. 네.
I agree. Yeah, 시야 could also be correct. Line of sight. So, what you can see and what you can't see are very important to portal puzzles. Like that, that's like one of the most important things for designing a portal level. Designing a co-op portal level, you have two lines of sight. One player can see something, and a different player can see something else, right?
네.
You see different things. In puzzles where you both see the same thing, it's not very much co-op because either player can do the same thing at the same time, right?
네.
So the important part of co-op levels is separating the players to different places so that each player sees a different thing and has a different line of sight so that they can do different parts of the puzzle together, like at the same time,
네.
by coordinating or using teamwork and things like that. That's one of the most important things, or differences, I guess. You have to
그러면-
consider two lines of sight at the same time, basically.
그러면 개발하는 과정 자체가 엄청 다를 것 같아요.
Yeah, it's quite a bit different. I don't actually know, did you play the co-op mode in Portal 2?
저는 같이 할 친구가 없어서.
You can find a friend to play it. Yeah. If you can't find somebody to play it with, I'll play it with you because
네.
it's been 15 years since I've played it. I don't remember any of the puzzles.
아 그래요?
Yeah, we can play it together. Maybe sometime.
저랑 하면 진짜 답답할 수도 있는데.
No. It would be fun. I promise. But yeah, we could do that.
좋죠.
We could do that for your other YouTube channel.
컴프리헨서블 인풋 코리안에서. 근데 안 그래도 게임도 같이 해보자고 얘기를 하려고 했거든요.
Yeah, that would be fun.
네. 근데 포탈 같이 해도 되겠네요. 그러면.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can use enough Korean to talk about Portal while we play Portal if we did that sometime. That'd be fun. Yeah. So think about it. I don't
한번
know.
해보죠.
Yeah.
전 좋죠.
What do you think? Leave a comment if you'd like us to play Portal 2 co-op together. Let us know. Yeah.
네네. 참고로 제가 그 이전 에피소드에서 얘기했는데 아마 포탈 에피소드만 보려고 들어오신 분들을 위해서 말씀드리자면
Yeah.
제가 원래 한국어 배우는 한국어 연습하는 외국 분들을 위해서 그 쉬운 한국어로 보고 들을 수 있는 영상을 만드는데 게임을 많이 활용합니다. 네, 그래서 포탈 2를 전에도 한번 한 적이 있었어요. 지프랑 알기 전에. 그래서 뭐 주황색 포탈을 열어요. 뭐 저기에 파란색 포탈을 열어요. 뭐 여기로 들어가요.
Right.
뭐 여기로 나왔어요. 뭐 이런 식으로 영상을 만들었었거든요.
Right. Yeah.
네,
Do
지프랑
you
같이 해도.
do you know Split Fiction? The game Split Fiction. It came
저
out
그거
came out
네.
recently.
그래요? 지프가 한 게임 아니에요? 지프 채널에서?
Yeah.
그건 아직 안 했어요.
Yeah. So I played it with a different Korean, one of my
네네.
friends, Denby. Her name is Denby.
네, 맞죠.
So I played it with Denby, and we played it for 15 hours or so, and we played only in Korean, and it was really fun. Yeah.
아
Yeah.
근데 그 게임은 찌프가 이미 했으니까 그 저랑 웨이아웃 같이 할래요?
A Way Out. Yeah, I played that with a friend in English a long time ago. Yeah.
아, 네네네. 한국어로.
No. We didn't. I didn't. Oh, we should play it in Korean.
그러니까 예,
Maybe.
저랑 한국어로.
Maybe. Okay. We could do that.
네네.
Yeah.
괜찮죠 그거.
That'd be fun. All right.
네, 포탈도 해보고, 네, 다 해봅시다.
Okay. Cool. All right. Let's keep going.
네, 네.
There's a lot of
네,
questions.
네, 좋아요. 네.
Okay. Somebody asked. This is very specific, but somebody asked about the ending with. Oh, I shouldn't spoil too much, I guess. But hey, by the way, if you haven't played Portal 2 and you don't want spoilers, don't listen right now. Skip to this time, and Taeyum will tell you what time to skip. Okay.
네, 오케이.
Okay. So in Portal, at the end, you shoot onto the moon. You put a portal on the moon. Somebody asked if it doesn't matter if you put the blue portal or the orange portal on the moon. It just works, right?
네,
Yeah. The hope is that most people don't notice that. They just don't notice.
네,
Because we can't expect people to remember, there's maybe 1 minute or 2 minute of like story dialogue. Which portal should they put? Oh, is it red? Is it blue? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. It's not important for the story. So
네.
we hope they don't remember and just click. Like we don't care. Yeah.
제가 딱 그랬어요. 저는 못 알아차렸어요. 그냥
Yeah.
아 지금이야 이렇게 하늘에 그냥 슝.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just important for the climax, like being exciting and being more fun. It just moves the story forward. It ends the game. We don't want people to click the wrong button and then you lose. Like, yeah, it would
그러니까 그러면
it's so
좀
boring.
그 요즘 말로 좀 짜치죠.
Yeah.
그렇게 되면
People don't want to replay that, you know. So,
네, 예, 그러니까
So
두 번째 할 때는 그 클라이막스 느낌이 없잖아요.
right. Okay, so speaking of portal colors, somebody asked why or how did we choose orange and blue? So the game before Portal, Narbacular Drop, we used red and blue. The reason we used red is our thought was right click red, RR, right?
네,
Right. On the mouse, right click red.
네,
Left click
네.
lime. Lime is green, right? Left
네.
click lime, right click red. Left click lime, right click red. Just a way to remember.
오.
But
오.
but there's a problem. So green and red, many people have what we call color blindness, where
맞아요. 네.
they can't see the difference between red and green easily. It's very difficult. So we said, okay, let's not use green. How about blue? So that's how we got blue and red. And then for Portal, the red, it just looked a little weird. Like the color looked very unnatural in the environments that we were doing in that game. And so we changed it to orange and it looked better. And that's
Oh.
it. It looks better. That's the reason.
네. 저도 그 질문을 읽고 생각해봤거든요.
Yeah.
만약에 다른 색이었으면 어땠을까? 근데 제일 쉽게 떠오르는 색이 빨간색이니까. 근데 그러면 진짜 어색했을 것 같아요.
It's a little awkward.
예, 그리고 왠지 빨간색 그 포탈 자체가 좀 뭔가 그 좀 약간 매지컬한 바이브가 있잖아요.
Right.
근데 만약에 빨간색 포탈 열면 막 거기서 뭐가 나올 것 같고 좀
Yeah.
그렇더라고요.
Right. But I don't know. I'm making the decision sound maybe a little bit easy because the artists who decided the color, I didn't personally decide. The artists spent a lot of time and put a lot of thought into it, not just picking blue and orange, but a very, very good blue and orange. And their skill and their idea, they chose the right colors. And I can't explain their process exactly because I'm not an artist. So, but they chose good colors. I agree.
네, 진짜 자연스러워요. 그냥 너무 당연한 것 같아요.
Yeah.
네.
Yeah. Okay, so somebody asked, what was the goal for the sequel as developers? So after making Portal 1, what goal did you have for Portal 2? Like I said, I didn't work on Portal 2 directly at the start. But after Portal 1 came out and it was successful, and other developers at Valve liked the game, they enjoyed it, but didn't work on Portal 1, right? But they thought it was cool. They wanted to make a Portal game too. They're like, oh, we like Portal. We want to work on Portal.
그런
Yeah.
식으로
Right.
개발이 되는구나.
So the goal for Portal 2 was to make a Portal game. Like that was the goal. Just to make a
그렇죠.
Portal game, right?
네.
And with any game at Valve, including Portal, but other games at Valve, the way we decide how to make the game or what game to make is based on the team working on the game. So for Portal 1, we had like 7 or 8 developers, right? It was a very small team, and so we had to make a very
네.
small game. We had to we couldn't make it super complex because we didn't have,
네.
that many people. And we looked at the skills, the abilities that every developer had on the team and said, what skills do we have? What can we do using those skills? And the game we made is based on what skills we had, right?
아.
With Portal 2, it was a bigger team, and so
네.
it could be a bigger game. And the people on the team were like very, very skilled with different types of things. They had like animation, architecture, puppeteering, and a lot of like very interesting special skills that they could use. And so the types of features they put in the game were based on their abilities and their skills. And so we don't say Portal 2 should have this feature, this feature, this feature, this feature. Now let's find
네.
a team. It's the opposite. First we find the team. Who wants to make this game? Who wants to work on this game? And then based on that team, what game can we make? What is possible to make using that team? So the goal was to make Portal. That's the goal, if that makes sense.
그렇구나.
As an example,
네.
if only 3 people wanted to work on Portal 2, it would have been a very small game
그렇죠.
with less story, with less puzzles or something, right?
오. 와, 근데 그 사람이 인간이 약간 밴드웨건 이펙트라는 거 있잖아요.
Mm-hmm.
그래서 야, 저 게임 만든다고? 야, 나 할래 이러면은 나도 약간 이렇게 하는 사람도 있을 수 있겠네요.
Right. Exactly, yeah. And so actually that is related to another question somebody asked. They asked
네.
where Ratman came from.
네.
Ratman is a character that's not in Portal and Portal 2, but he's referenced in Portal 2. He's kind of in the background as a character.
네.
So that came from the limitations that we had. So in Portal 1, we had very few developers. We had a lot of limitations. So we didn't have a lot of time to make a new 3D model for a character and animate that character and do
네.
voice acting for that character. Like we didn't have enough people to do that. So we said instead of having a character in the game that you can see,
네.
that you can talk to, what if that character had a history in the test chambers in Portal? That character was there previously, and that character left notes. He wrote things down, right?
네.
But then he's gone. You don't see him. You only see he was there. You see his history inside of Portal, inside of the lab. So the limitation of not having very many people working on Portal is the reason that Ratman is that character, because we couldn't put him in the game directly. We only could do a very limited, like writing on the walls version of him. So we use our limitations to create that character, basically.
아, 이게 그 신재성님께서 남겨주신 질문이었는데, 근데 결국에 나중에 더그 랜맨이 살아서 나갔는지 죽었는지
You don't know if he's living. So that was still part of the question. You're right. You know,
네.
is Ratman still around? Is he dead? Is he alive? We don't know is the answer, or the player doesn't know. Maybe the developers know, but
아,
it's unanswered. So it's up to you to think about it and make a theory. It's your choice. Yeah.
플레이어들에게 맡기는 거네요.
Yeah. Yeah.
그렇구나.
예.
자, 이쯤에서 저희가 받은 질문과 얘기할 거리가 너무 많기 때문에 영상이 너무 길어질 것 같아서 이번 주에 올라갈 영상은 여기까지만 하겠습니다.
Yeah. So since there was so many questions, we'll get back to you in the next video answering more of the questions.
네, 그러니까 다음 영상을 위해서 꼭 구독을 눌러주시고요.
Yeah, if you want to see the next video, make sure you subscribe, and that way you'll get an alert when the next video is ready.
그리고 우리가 이 채널을 만든 목적이 이렇게 한 명은 한국어로 얘기하고 한 명은 영어로 얘기하는 거 이거를 보여주기 위한 거잖아요.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
그래서 네, 포탈에 관심이 있어서 이 영상을 보셨을 텐데 이런 포맷이 괜찮은 것 같다면 또 앞으로 다양한 이야기, 다양한 주제들에 대한 이야기를 할 테니까 기대해 주시면 좋겠습니다.
Yeah, we talk about all kinds of different topics, and so we think this is a really nice, easy, natural way to learn new phrases or get some listening practice in English or Korean. So, yeah, just stick around, check out other episodes, and hopefully you'll enjoy the conversations we have together.
네, 그러면 우리는 다음 주에 파트 2로 돌아오겠습니다. 여기까지 한국어 영어 팟캐스트 하프앤하프의 정태웅이었습니다.
You've been listening to Half and Half. See you next time. Bye.